tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, Worthy One, the fully enlightened Buddha. Dear friends in Dhamma, yet again we are meeting to share the wisdom and the compassionate message of the Buddha. Today, let's explore our life in a Buddhist perspective, how we can become very responsible, very worthy, very respectable person in the society. Are you a really responsible person? Do you take responsibility for your actions, for your words, for your thoughts? Today we are going to discuss the value and the usefulness of virtues or the precepts. In Buddhism, the path to liberation, path to freedom, the path to cessation of suffering is gradual. In this gradual path of purification, the path of liberation, the path of cessation of suffering, we have very significant, very important role to play. That role is the precepts. But day-to-day life, in our daily lives, we don't take very seriously. Even we ignore and we don't want to follow, we don't want to take it seriously in our daily life for our betterment or for our spiritual growth. How do we use precepts? Buddha has explained, or Buddha has classified two types of sila or virtues or precepts. One is varitra sila. Varitra means you refrain, you abstain from, and you avoid doing certain things. Yet, this alone is not sufficient. You need to further develop the performance part of the sila. The performance part of your life would be to bring your actions, positive thoughts, positive words into your life. This is called charitra sila. So sila has two aspects. One is abstaining, avoiding bad, wicked, cruel things. Secondly, on the positive side, this is the negative side, refraining, and the positive side or the cultivation of wholesome, very virtuous behavior comes from the charitra sila. Charitra sila means you develop, you cultivate, you meditate, you are going to embrace the whole positive spectrum of actions into your life. Therefore, sila, some people interpret it and some people use it in a very narrow sense of meaning. We are giving very narrow meaning to the sila. Sila touches every aspect of our life. If you are very careless, very negligent, very careless person, then you don't want to consider protecting or observing or following precepts. They take it lightly. Don't take it lightly. Precepts can bring our spiritual life, bring our life to a new level. Precepts can uplift our spiritual life. Precepts can uplift quality of our lives. So therefore, take it serious. Take it as something essential in our daily life. Not something extra, not something relevant, not something spare, not integral part of your life. So, Buddha basically recommended for lay people 5 precepts. And if you, starting from 5 precepts, you can, on full moon days, on poor days, you can go up to 8 precepts, and also you can go to Gahatta Das Sila, that is lay people 10 precepts. And if you go to the hierarchy of precepts in the monkhood or in the monks' lives, especially you start with the novice precept, 10 precepts, but the difference is all the 10 precepts you take together and observe together. But in 5 precepts you take separately. For example, you take precept of abstaining from killing. Then if you break that precept, other 4 precepts such as stealing, lying, sexual misconduct, or taking intoxicating drugs and drinks, if you break one precept, all the other 4 precepts can be preserved, can be abstained, and it doesn't have effect on the other 4 precepts. But in case of monks, novice, the 10 precepts combine together and observe as a one. So if he breaks one precept, that means he breaks all the 10 precepts. The precepts are our self-governing rules. The structure of our behavior should be the precepts. If you use this structure, you are firm. You know, when you are building a big house or big building, you need to have a proper foundation. If you don't have a proper foundation, it is impossible, it is not viable to build a stronger, long-lasting and useful building, because the whole building weight goes to the foundation. If your foundation is weak, if your foundation has shortcomings, if your foundation is shaky, if your foundation is not strong enough, the heavy load, heavy materials put on the structure will damage whole building. Similarly, if you do not protect, if you do not observe precepts, there is a possibility, possibility of collapsing our lives, collapsing our spiritual journey, fall down our whole spiritual journey. So therefore, it is very essential for us to observe precepts. Let's say there's a very nice analogy one of the great Dharma preachers has once explained. What is the difference between the fish in the fish tank and the fishes in the deep sea? We can see there are big difference. In the deep sea, if there are fishes, so many types of fish in the deep sea, but they are always subject to big trawlers or ships or boats coming and fishing them. One threat to them. Secondly, also their own other species. For example, a small fish is hunted by a bigger fish. Bigger fish come and catch the small fish. This is the nature. This is the life cycle in the sea. Therefore, there is no protection for the fish in the sea, because there are so many dangers. And also weather pattern, for example, fish in the sea during the winter, sometimes the whole sea is melt, the sea water is melt, and on the top of the sea water there's ice. That means the sea water becomes very cold, too cold. So the fish has to live in this very cold weather with so much difficulty. And also fish in the sea, they don't have enough food during the winter time, because there's no sunlight, there's no seaweeds growing, and they need a lot of energy to keep them warm. So it's a hard and harsh life inside the sea. And also there are fishermen put the net and they catch, and also other submarines or any other deep diving equipment might hurt or injure the ship's fish in the sea. But just in case of fish in the tank, his area of fish, swimming is very limited. He doesn't have a larger sea. He has to confine himself to a smaller tank where his whole life is there. But he is free from all the other big fish being hunted him or taken his life away. He's safe there. And or seagulls or any other birds come and fishing in the sea. So this fish in the tank is more safer, more convenient, and he's feeded regularly by the owner. So he doesn't want to bother. He doesn't want to bother that his food is not there, because he is always getting his food anytime he wants. Anytime he wants, he get. So there's no scarcity. When he's hungry, he get his food. But fish in the sea doesn't have that kind of privilege. He has to search himself the food for his survival. Sometimes you might get your food, sometimes you might not get food. So therefore, friends in Dhamma, the fish in the tank is more safer, his life is more convenient, more comfortable, weather is good. He doesn't have winter, he has a very warm water during winter also. But his limit of swimming and limit of he can travel is limited. Somehow, whatever that limitation, still he is safe. But in the fish in the sea, is always has to take care of his life from the predators, so many predators in the sea. So therefore, the precepts are like the fish in the tank, because you have certain limitations, certain restrictions imposed by yourself. This is the beauty of the precept, because nobody forcing you to observe the precept. You voluntarily undertake to observe the precepts. And once you undertake to observe the precepts, you are continue with the voluntariness. Nobody is forcing you. Therefore, friends, the observing precepts give so many benefits. During the one Buddha's time, one of the previous Buddha's time, one monk who was a rich man, and he has one brother, and one day he thought, this life is meaningless, I should become a monk, and I will go to the monastery and I will become monk. All the properties, all the wealth, all the inheritance he got from his father, he all gave to his brother, younger brother, and his wife. And he began to stay in the temple and meditate. But wife of this younger brother suspected that one day this brother who become a monk might come back and gain or ask all the properties he have vested in the younger brother and the wife. So she worried, and she engaged this group of thieves or group of rascals or group of gangsters to go and kill this brother. And they went in the evening and they saw monk was walking up and down doing the walking meditation. Then they approached and they surrounded the whole temple and told the monks, now we have been asked to kill you by your wife, brother's wife asked to kill you. So we are here to kill you. Then the monk said, please don't kill me. I want to live one more day. I want to live one more day. So until tomorrow morning, don't kill me. Then the group of gangsters told, how can you believe? You might run away. You can flee from this place and avoid your death. Then this monk is a really good meditator. He took a big stone and hit the thigh and break the thigh bone, and all two thighs bone were broken. And he sit down and he began to meditate on his pain. And by the end of the night, when the next dawn is arriving, this monk was able to realize the supreme enlightenment. So he is no more a layperson, no more a monk who has not attained the enlightenment. So therefore, friends, this story illustrates that when we are protecting precepts, we should not break the precept merely because it is inconvenient, merely because some other people persuade you, merely because you are losing some wealth, merely because you are gaining more benefits. So all these reasons must not be used to break the precept. If you want to break the precept, that means, so in protecting the precepts, Buddha has explained you should not break the precept, you must protect the precepts. If you are aware that your precept has been broken by your action, then you try to take care of these precepts again and try to avoid breaking of the precepts again. So this is the very important thing when you are protecting the precepts. And if you protect the precepts, that will give so many benefits. During the Buddha's time, Buddha has explained many benefits. One is you are creating positive karma. This positivity or positive karma is very important, because we always tend to happen. We might have negative karma as well as positive karma. But most important thing is to create positive karma. To create positive karma, you need to develop positive karma. How to develop positive karma? You need to be aware of your behavior and avoid doing bad, wicked things mentioned in the prior precept. Apart from that, also you must develop generosity, especially for Brahma Viharas. That is compassion, kindness, all these for Brahma Viharas you should practice and develop. Therefore, when you protect the precepts, one is you are creating positive karma. Secondly, you become very popular person. Buddha said the smell of the virtue, the good qualities, smell of the good qualities will go to all directions. Normally, if you have flowers or any other smelling things, and this smell will only go to the direction where the wind's blowing away. Other direction, in the opposite direction, people cannot feel the wind. Therefore, friends, one benefit of the protecting precept is the positive karma you create. Secondly, if you observe precepts under the Eight Noble Eightfold Path, you have Samma Kammanta, Samma Ajiva, Samma Vacha, right speech, right livelihood, all these right things comes under the Noble Eightfold Path. So under Noble Eightfold Path, you will have this sila included, because Buddha's path is clear and Buddha's teaching is clear that it is interconnected. You cannot take the Buddha's teaching separately, because Eight Noble Path is interconnected to the liberation. Thirdly, if you are observing precepts, you will die peacefully. Because I have recently visited one old mom, and she was a pious Buddhist, and she was taking care of herself and always listened to Dhamma sermons in the radio and the TV. However, she was very scared of death, and sometimes when we're getting older, they might not listen to your advice, listen to your teachings. Therefore, the very important thing is, when a person observes precepts, he can look back his life, he can feel that he has done a good job in his life, and his behavior gives pleasure and happiness and pleasant feeling, because he have lived rightfully, in a right way. Therefore, and also Buddha says, Silena bhoga sampada. When you observe precepts, you become also rich, prosperous. Because when you have a very extravagant life, you are wasting your hard-earned money. So when you observe precepts, if you have stopped taking alcohol, if you becoming a womanizer, and if you do things very simple way, you can become very frugal person. You can avoid unnecessary things. That way, you can by observing precepts, you can become rich and prosperous. Some people think if you observe precepts, you cannot become rich. There are so many limitations. But your waste is stopped at the root, because you don't want to waste your money, time, energy for just useless things. And also, the person who observes precepts also become very popular. Why? Because his behavior, his manners are very good, very pleasant. So everybody likes him. So it's another benefit that you become popular. Normally people want to become popular, say they do so many things, but they never become popular because of their no precepts, no behavior, no good behavior. But if mannered person, well-mannered person who have the precepts observed very well, thoroughly, then that person will become popular. And also, for example, if you observe the first precept or the five precepts, you become the whole world, peerless. Because if you are not killing, if you are not harming any other person, then other person become very fearless, because they know that you are not going to harm anyone. And also, he also get very good skin, and also he can become a leader, peaceful life, harmless life, and useful life. And also, if you observe precepts, you will become more and more intelligent, because normally in the people's life, they don't think about the becoming a wise or very intelligent person. Sometimes when you drink alcohol, you might lose your senses, you might lose your mindfulness, and also you can become very heedless person. That is, you become a useless person, because you don't become mindful, fully aware what is going on due to your intoxication things. Therefore, Buddha said, those who observe precepts become very wise, become very intelligent. And Buddha also said, those who observe precepts, they can sleep well and wake up well. Normally those criminals, let's say, those in recent months, many people were killed by the contractors or slaughterers, people who take the money from one person and kill another person. So in this type of behavior, in this type of situation, you can see in Sri Lanka so many people get killed by the contracts and people give money to kill. But after they killing, the very special thing, if you notice, after they killing, we can see they will get caught by the police, and they are very scared of the police, and they are scared of going to the court, and finally they will be catched. They cannot be escaped away, run away forever. Once you catch, you will have suffering. Therefore, friends, the person who observe precepts, they will always have a very good, peaceful mind. Buddha said, at the end of the day, most important thing is to be happy, especially anavajja sukha. The rightful living give you a very satisfactory feeling in your life when you are getting older and older, because you know that you use these precepts to make him happy in this world, also make others happy in this world, also make peaceful place. Because ultimately the peace is the most important thing. To get peace, you, by observing precept itself, you become peaceful, and also by observing precepts you are offering peace to the others. So this is the very important aspect of the teaching. So today we were discussing the virtue, observing precepts. In Buddhism there are 5 precepts: abstaining from killing, abstaining from stealing, abstaining from sexual misconduct, abstaining from lying, and abstaining from intoxicating drinks and drugs. They are very good for our daily life, for us to get a very virtuous, holy, or very positive life in our lives. So my friends, try to observe precept. Don't take the precepts very lightly, and try to be a moral, worthy person that everybody will like you and love you. So may the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha bless you, guide you and protect you. Namo Buddhaya.